이번 세션 첫 번째 발표자는 Antanas Guoga 님인데요. 블록체인 기술에 대한 유럽 의회의 태도 변화라는 주제로 첫 번째 세션의 문을 열어주도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, Gazua. How's everyone doing? Good? Excited? Well, we've got some good news from Europe for everybody. I'm actually a member of European Parliament and a big supporter of the blockchain revolution that's taking place at the moment before us. And our opinion about everything in Europe does differ from one of China's, of course, and one of many other countries around the world. But European Union is also a very slow-moving organization, so things don't happen very fast. Our opinion on security tokens, utility tokens, we don't have the same laws as Americans do. So we don't have the Howey test. And I guess a lot of politicians consider some aspects of security and tokens not as bad as other countries do. So we should always keep this in mind. Also, fiat gateways are very, very welcome in Europe, and a lot of big companies, big exchanges are setting up there. As you've heard, Binance is coming into Malta, but other countries like even Liechtenstein, Luxembourg are very open to cryptocurrencies and open to open fiat gateways. So getting an e-money license is quite easy in Europe, and having real fiat to crypto trading pairs set up. So European Parliament's a very big organization with 750 plus people there in our sessions at Strasbourg, where it's usually held. We have a working group, we have a lot of supporters for this new revolution in blockchain. So you definitely have friends, and we do want to welcome everybody to Europe from Korea. So I think the doors are open. We're open for business and open for a lot of opportunities. If you consider the size of the market and the possibilities to set up your business, everyone should really consider it. I also founded a blockchain center myself, which I'll talk to you about later, but the EU Blockchain Observatory Forum as well has been recently established, and we can accelerate and help blockchain companies. So it's very easy to approach, very easy to email. Anyone can just contact me, and we will always help you out to get the information that you need. The opportunities are immense. As you know, that the European Union is still the wealthiest continent in the world with the most amount of capital, still has a budget surplus, and has a lot of opportunities for everybody, I think, to really consider. So anyone truly building global companies should never forget Europe and keep in mind the opportunities and the difference between America, that I think once we do enter into the new sort of projects, the security token aspects, I think Europe can really lead us forward, and you can already issue them today. But even on our Horizon 2020 innovation, e-government, there's a lot of opportunities in Europe to come and start doing some business, and we have government funding coming in all the time. But these numbers will grow significantly. As you know, that European budgets are slow, it takes time to get new approvals, but we do see the blockchain as a unique opportunity for everybody. And we do want to invite everybody over to participate in this area. We really do think it's a breakthrough. So people should not give up hope just because cryptocurrency prices go down. I think at the European Union level, we'll look at things over the next 20 years, the next 30 years. How will AI develop together with the blockchain to solve a lot of problems? And I think that's what we're really focused on, that blockchain can solve a lot of problems that people still face around the world. With security, with proof, with transaction speed, and we just saw Roger said, so I think there's a lot of good news there coming through for everybody, that we do see a breakthrough. And that this is the time to really work. I think that, and this is what we find in Europe, that new initial coin offerings are no longer required. They're going to be very difficult to do. And now we have to see how these projects will perform. So everyone's observing. We're observing and we're seeing what's going to happen. We've seen the prices go down approximately 90% of nearly every project from its peak. So there is quite a lot of losses, but you have to look beyond that. And you have to look for the breakthrough. And why did people fund the projects? I think greed took care of us a bit, right? Because the initial part was to contribute to help something build, to help something grow, but we became in a speculation frenzy which has now been taken care of, I think, by the market itself, by the fear aspect. But we should always look at the building blocks and at the real reasons why these projects needed financing. I think they just got a bit too much money too quickly, without any experience, and they had too much fun. National governments in Europe are also very positive and very open. So you can definitely come and do business, especially my country, Lithuania, where the central bank can meet everybody that comes in. And a lot of companies have set up. So to set up a e-money license, if you have any plans of doing business in Europe, and you can actually issue people European bank accounts quite easily, quite cheaply, and you can link them to cryptocurrencies if you set it up in the right way. So I think these opportunities are important. And as we see the future of tokenized assets, security assets, which will be real estate, gold, could be forest in Europe, I think this will create a lot of excitement. And then, that's my dream, where we'll have people all over the world buying real assets. So I could imagine some girl in Zimbabwe that has $100, instead of saving it, she could now invest. And invest every month, as long as these assets that are going to be on a blockchain are trusted. This is the future. We probably can't afford to have people invest in air for too long. We have to be honest that the utility aspect of tokens has not had any take-up. The best projects like Civic and others haven't had enough take-up to say we're going to have mass adoption today. But I think the main purpose of cryptocurrencies is still intact and still very, very good future ahead. You just have to put some real assets behind it. And if you have good assets that people can easily trade, I think the future of cryptocurrencies like this is very bright. But probably the utility aspect, of course, it was always very risky, and the take-up and the transaction fees, and as we see all the problems that Roger talked about, still have not been solved. I think holding assets, getting even dividends paid, we really see this as the future, and that's where I really recommend to everybody to invest in and research and learn about. I think that security tokens and security tokens from Europe will be the future of the cryptocurrency space, which will add some fundamental value to everybody. There's been a lot of regulation coming through with initial coin offerings, but I already feel that Europe didn't really react or didn't really come out with any new laws or regulations. I think that was the right policy. But we came out with a lot of warnings about speculation. Myself, I publicly said that in December the market was completely overvalued and people should be very careful. It was quite clear. So Europe did take the approach of warning, telling people all the risks, and we never had a huge amount of investment into cryptocurrencies in Europe. In fact, we probably had more issuance and selling than buying. So Europe is still ready to invest. Once new projects do come, and they have very fundamental weight behind them, I think you can have a new boom where European money comes behind these projects. And then you have a very different kind of market, very sustainable and very prosperous. But I think for these, we need to have the right kind of projects that make sense. And the new regulation guidelines will be easy to read, easy to understand, and people can come and issue their token and convert to fiat and vice versa very easily. And I think this is very important, that you have support, you know how to do it properly, and that you can also have a link to fiat. This is the biggest asset in Europe, that it's very easy to go to fiat, to the European currency from your cryptocurrency. And we really do see the future of especially the Bank of Lithuania, that's what BOL stands for, which is very open. So if you have any ideas, we have a sandbox. Even the Bank of Lithuania is issuing its own cryptocurrency, or digital currency that they call. They can't say the crypto word, right? But they've already announced they're going to issue a digital currency on the blockchain. So we can see that the future, the steady path, is still very strong. And the opportunities are significant, with major banks that are in the Eurozone still allowing people and helping people and supporting you to come out with some projects that I think the most important lesson, that your project should help people solve a problem. If you're not solving problems, I don't think that's a project that the world can really sustain for too long. Yeah, you probably heard a lot of, from Lithuania, a lot of great projects have come out. Of course, Limpo, the most successful Lithuanian project so far, but we've had WePower and others, and about 500 million euros were raised in Lithuania, which is a very small country, through initial coin offerings. So we have a great fintech culture with more than 50 e-money licenses issued over the last 12 months. So it's very easy to just approach the central bank and start getting some lawyers, very inexpensive, and you can have an e-money license. And the Blockchain Center Vilnius, which is a non-for-profit blockchain center, BC Gateway, you can just come and get free advice, free connection to anything you want to do in the blockchain space. And I'm the founder of the Blockchain Center in Vilnius. As being a big believer in the industry and an early investor, I really did feel that we need to do it. We need to build it. It's a great working environment for everybody there. A lot of opportunities. So I think it's very important to keep going with the blockchain idea. It's just starting. Although when the market falls and you lose money, right, you feel pretty bad. But in general, I think the market is just starting. And it's those people who have real projects, who have real knowledge, who have a good team, they're going to perform. And this is where the new companies from these blockchain centers all around the world will be built. Companies like Google and Microsoft, they're coming. And they're coming from the blockchain area. There's no doubt about it. So these fundamental opportunities are there. They're extremely strong. And that's why we need blockchain centers around the world to help people, make sure, put them on the right path. People with experience. We have an excellent board with people from, for example, Taavi Rauvias was the Prime Minister of Estonia previously, already on our board, with a plan to open a blockchain center in Estonia as well. And this is the blockchain center in Vilnius, in Lithuania. So I hope that you can all come and visit us there and ask us questions. It's bcgateway.eu. You can just send an email. We love to see Koreans there in Lithuania. So we'd love to really have everyone visit. It's a beautiful country, great air you can breathe. You can just get a spot and you can develop a project from the next day. So we always have a little bit of space, although it's full now. We're opening a new floor in the next week or so with some more space. So it does take time to complete. But that's the sort of country Lithuania is, right? Beautiful rivers, lots of forests, beautiful air. And that's where we're all waiting for you to help you with your projects. I think that's important. We want to build the biggest projects from Lithuania, the most successful projects. We're talking about ecosystem, right? Ecosystem is very, very important. People helping each other and sharing the information. I think the blockchain industry is all about sharing, right? Not distributing, sharing, passing the knowledge on. That's what can help others progress. That's what can help others change the world. And if we see these sort of countries, like small countries, they're very, very enthusiastic. And I think as Korea was, especially in the blockchain space, we saw a huge amount of excitement. So it's very important not to lose the sight of where you're going to, not where it is now, and what the reasons are to build these particular projects. It's always exciting just to make a lot of money, but it doesn't last unless there's fundamental weight behind these projects, and they do help people to solve real-world problems. Just another picture of the blockchain center. And we're seeing a lot of great projects coming through. We're seeing a lot of projects that have missed it. And my advice that new standard utility tokens are past their due date. It's too late to do it. I think getting capital, listing on exchanges becomes too difficult. And we are concerned in Europe about exchanges. We're concerned about exchanges charging too much, not listing good projects. Even in a way, if exchanges have a fund that they invest in, that also discriminates against all the other projects. So how can that be good? How can an exchange having its own fund be good for the industry? It's not the European way of doing business, because it's all about letting everyone have a chance. Because if a big exchange fund invests in a project, well, it's going to be listed, right? And the rest can never get listed. So I think these are the problems that we've seen in the industry. Exchanges became too greedy, thinking only about the money, not thinking about the projects. And I'm talking about the biggest one. They're the ones that led everyone else in a bad way. And now people have lost money out of it, because great projects have no chance to get on there anymore. While everyone could get on, now no one can get on. So the point of exchanges is going to be very important. And the blockchain centers have to help government to ensure that once we have these security tokens, they can be traded on exchanges, and there's clear rules for everybody. And probably having funds to invest in from exchanges, it creates interests in the wrong direction. They should just focus on providing a platform, secure platform for people to trade, not to decide, once they invest and they have a vested interest. This does cause a lot of problems in the European law in every way. So I think that's also a warning to them, that if they're going to discriminate against other projects by investing, I think the authorities eventually will come after them and investigate. Because this doesn't make sense if you think about it, right? And this is something that needs to be cleaned up. I think we need to have very clear laws on exchanges and very clear policies how you get listed. Because if we don't fix this, we'll continue having problems where coins go up a lot, people get out, and they sell. So I think that the authorities are obviously watching and knowing what's going on. It's not possible to just keep getting away with it for too long. We'd love you to join to discuss more. We'd love anyone that wants to contact me directly. It's also very easy to contact me. I'm on LinkedIn under my name, so just write. Any advice, any feedback, I would really appreciate it as well. And we're happy to connect, to help. I also grew up in Australia, so the only member of the European Parliament that's Australian. But my heritage is Lithuanian, so we also have good connections in Australia. And I think that the blockchain space there is also very flourishing with the blockchain center in Melbourne. And I think that's a great area and a great country that's also leading the world forward. So we'll probably be looking forward to some great projects coming out. And we do wish everybody all the best, stay positive, and change the world. Thank you very much for having me.